For months, the world has been watching the sky with a level of obsession we haven't seen since the first moon landing. The interstellar object, known as 3I-ATLA, once dismissed as a frozen relic drifting between the stars, has now become the center of the greatest scientific controversy in human history. What began as a routine detection by an automated telescope has spiraled into a global storm of panic, wonder, silence, secrecy, and the slow, creeping realization that something unprecedented is happening right above our heads. Every day brings a new anomaly, a new fragment of evidence, a new unanswered question. And as the signals coming from the object grow stronger and more structured, the possibility we once feared and once dreamed of now sits directly in front of us. This thing may not only be alien, it may be alive in ways we cannot yet understand. Astronomers first noticed something unusual when 3I Atlas displayed a strange emerald glow that intensified in rhythmic pulses. At first, the glow was chalked up to cyanide emissions common in comets, but the pulses were too precise, too stable, too deliberate. A signal repeating at exact intervals and intervals that matched prime number sequences. Natural phenomena may repeat, but they do not count, they do not calculate, they do not send mathematics across the void. When the data was shared with independent laboratories, every single analysis came to the same conclusion. This was not noise. This was not coincidence. Something was transmitting purposefully and intelligently from an object traveling at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour through our solar system. Soon after, telescopes in Hawaii and Chile captured high-resolution, spectral images that revealed geometric structures beneath the object's glowing outer shell. A natural comet should be chaotica, mix of ice, dust, rock, and volatile gases. It should never, under any circumstances, contain parallel internal beams, repeating lattice frameworks, or straight angles with perfect symmetry. One astrophysicist compared the interior to a cathedral made of crystal and metal. Another called it the skeleton of a machine. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it was not formed by gravity and time. It was designed, but the most disturbing signs began when the object veered off the path gravity had set for it. Comets cannot course correct. They cannot adjust their trajectory with precision. They cannot rotate, stabilize, and then accelerate, all behaviors observed by NASA's infrared tracking systems in early November. The data showed propulsion signatures on the underside of the object, brief bursts of heat far hotter than any sublimation event. Natural comets do not fire thrusters. They do not steer themselves like spacecraft navigating a predetermined route. NASA scientists tried to keep the findings quiet, but the truth leaked when a whistleblower confessed to journalists that the object was maneuvering like a probe entering an approach corridor. Soon, amateur astronomers confirmed the movement. Satellite operators saw irregular distortions. Observatory cameras captured the slight but undeniable shifts in direction. The object was not drifting into the inner solar system, it was heading there intentionally. In a remote observatory in the Atacama Desert, a long-exposure image captured a second object trailing behind 3I Atlas, smaller, sharper, and metallic, not glowing like a comet, but reflecting light like a spacecraft. Moving in near-perfect synchronization, the astronomer who took the photo tried to stay silent, but the image spread across the internet within minutes. Millions saw it. Experts analyzed it. Engineers studied its edges and contours. Theories exploded. Was this an escort vessel? A decoy? A guardian? A drone? Or was the main object not a vessel at all, but a carrier transporting something else entirely? The public demanded answers, but governments grew noticeably quiet. NASA removed several pages about 3I Atlas from their website. ESA remained silent. Chinese, Russian, and Indian observatories ceased their public data streams. Something was happening behind closed doors, something urgent enough for the world's most powerful agencies to panic simultaneously. Then, almost as if in response to the secrecy, the object intensified its signals. The pulses became longer, more complex, more structured. Algorithms detected new layers of information hidden inside the transmission. Waveforms intertwined like threads. Patterns repeated with increasing sophistication. The frequency shifts began aligning with orbital positions on Earth, though the object was interacting with us, watching us, testing us. A team at the SETI Institute analyzed the waveform and discovered something astonishing. Embedded inside the repeated pulses were 12 unique spectral signatures, corresponding to the habitable zones of 12 known exoplanet systems. These systems had been extensively studied by astronomers for decades. Why would an object from outside our solar system send us a map of other habitable worlds? Was it a message pointing toward civilizations they had encountered? A link to their origin? A warning about others? Or a test to see if humanity could decipher the puzzle? Meanwhile, scientists analyzing the material composition of the object found something that defied every known principle of astrophysics. The surface reflected light in a way that indicated a metallic alloy unknown to any natural process. Underneath, the lattice-like framework exhibited nanostructures arranged in perfect ordered precision on an interstellar scale. If 3I-ATLAS was artificial, then it was crafted using technologies millions of years beyond human engineering. The idea that this object could be older than Earth itself became a chilling possibility. Imagine a civilization capable of launching probes that survive for billions of years, traveling between star systems like seeds drifting across a cosmic ocean. As the object came closer, strange phenomena appeared across Earth. Radio signals in multiple countries experienced temporary blackouts. GPS satellites glitched simultaneously in ways not caused by solar activity. Several astronomers reported brief flashes around the object, blue-white arcs, like static electricity discharging from a colossal machine. Others observed ultra-thin beams, scanning the space around it, as if mapping the gravitational and magnetic fields of our solar system. And on 2 separate nights, the object rotated to face Earth directly before returning to its previous orientation. Was it scanning us? Was it studying Earth's atmosphere, its biosphere, its electromagnetic emissions? Was it trying to determine if Earth was inhabited? Governments began holding emergency briefings. Military leaders appeared on camera with stiff postures and rigid expressions. They used vague words like monitoring the situation and ensuring global safety. But behind their uncertainty were the unmistakable signs of anxiety. The greatest fear was not that the object was hostile, but that it was vastly beyond human comprehension. If humanity encountered a species tens of millions of years ahead, the difference would be unimaginable, as dramatic as an ant encountering a spacecraft. And then, incredibly, the signals from 3I Atlas evolved once more. The pulses became longer and more sophisticated. Encrypted within them were harmonic layers that formed repeating sequences resembling a language, not a spoken language, but a mathematical one that used frequencies, modulations, and prime number intervals to create structures akin to sentences. When the data was visualized, the waveforms formed fractal-like shapes, recurring, self-replicating, and symmetrical, a language based not on sound but geometry. Some scientists believed it was a universal form of communication meant to transcend biology, culture, and evolution, a message any advanced species could recognize. Soon after the new signals emerged, the secondary object, now confirmed to be a smaller vessel, performed its first visible maneuver. It separated slightly from the main object, dipped below it, and then returned to its position. The movement was smooth, controlled, and precise. No debris cloud, no tail, no natural behavior. It was a machine. Suddenly, everything our species had debated for decades, are we alone? Are aliens real? Would they visit us? Was no longer theoretical. It was happening. As the days passed, the object continued its slow approach. The signals grew denser, the beams more frequent. NASA and ESA quietly resumed limited data sharing but remained cryptic. However, leaked internal documents revealed something truly alarming. When the signals were run through high-resolution analysis, parts of the waveform seemed to be scanning Earth's magnetic field at regular intervals. Not once, not twice, dozens of times. The object appeared to be calibrating, adjusting itself based on Earth's energetic output, almost as if preparing for entry, almost as if evaluating conditions, almost as if planning to interact with the planet. At the same time, strange low-frequency hums were detected by ground-based antennas worldwide. The hums matched harmonics within the object's transmissions. They were faint but measurable, like background noise, synchronizing with a larger system. Then came the phenomenon that terrified the scientific world. On a single night, observers in multiple countries reported brief, silent flashes in the sky, far brighter than stars, but lasting less than a second. The flashes came from the direction of 3I Atlas, but they were not explosions. They were controlled, symmetrical, and patterned. The same sequence in every location. 8 flashes, a pause, then 5 flashes. When converted into binary, the pattern produced a simple mathematical ratio, the same ratio found in the structure of the 12 frequency signatures. Embedded in the earlier transmission, it was communication, a direct attempt to draw attention. A signal not lost in the chaos of radio frequencies, but written onto the sky itself. The scientific community is now divided into 3 camps. The first believes the object is a probe-an automated device, sent by an ancient civilization to catalog life-bearing worlds. The second believes it is a reconnaissance craft designed to observe and evaluate emerging civilizations. And the third, a quieter, more cautious group, believes it could be something else entirely. A seed ship, a carrier, a vessel designed to deliver something across the cosmos. Something that could change the trajectory of life on Earth forever. But the most unsettling question of all is why the object is arriving specifically now. Why this century? Why this decade? Has Earth's technological development caught someone's attention? Did our radio signals, our satellites, our nuclear tests, or our digital networks draw them in? Or has this object been traveling toward us for millions of years, programmed to arrive at this exact moment, regardless of what humanity became? As of today, the object continues to accelerate gently toward the inner solar system. Its light pulses have increased by nearly 20%. The secondary craft has moved closer, almost touching the main object, as though transferring something or receiving new instructions. And several observatories have reported faint trails of unknown particles emanating from the underside of the primary structure, particles that do not match any known cometary substance. Meanwhile, telescopes tracking the object's internal reflections report subtle changes, as though something inside the structure is moving, as though it is waking up. Across the world, people stare at the sky with a mixture of awe and dread. Social media buzzes with speculation. Scientists work around the clock. Governments prepare for scenarios they never imagined facing. And humanity, for the first time in its existence, stands on the edge of a moment that could redefine what it means to be human. What is 3I Atlas? A messenger? A probe? A scout? A relic? Or the beginning of contact with a civilization far older and far more powerful than we can comprehend? Because whatever 3I Atlas is, it is no longer simply passing through our solar system. It is coming to us. It is watching us. It is preparing for something. And the world must now ask the question that will define the next chapter of human history. Are we ready?